If you spent May trying to figure out what was holding you back, deciphering signs, catching cosmic hints, trying to understand what needed to change, now the analysis phase is over. This is the week the universe gives you the chance to prove you got the message. It's not about predicting the future. It's about acting based on what's already been revealed. From June 1st to 8th, the sky hands you a clear ladder. First, the impulse, then the structure, finally, the grounding. This sequence isn't random, it's a formula, and if you follow the flow, you can build something that actually lasts. But if you try to skip steps, you'll get lost between haste and frustration. The energy of the week is progressive clarity. Each day, a new layer of your decision becomes clearer. So don't underestimate any move. Not the initial spark, not the pause in the middle, not the silence at the end. Comment 664 if you feel that clarity is already taking shape inside you. That's the number of someone who acts with grounding, not just impulse. Sunday hits like a jolt to the chest, a mix of urgency and courage, a call for emotional action right now. The moon joins Mars in Leo, and you feel the blood rushing faster. The mind doesn't wait. The body wants a response. You might wake up wanting to change everything, say what's been stuck inside, act with no brakes, or start something with a force that felt like pain, but was actually stored passion. This conjunction lights up the heart center. Every emotion you feel wants out through your hands or your mouth. It can be liberating, but also destructive if you don't channel it properly. This is the kind of transit that pushes you to make bold declarations, to commit to a decision, or to finally break away from what's been suffocating you. But beware, don't confuse impulse with intuition. Before you act, ask yourself, is this coming from me or from my anger? Use that fire to start what truly drives you, to take that first step you've been postponing, to pour emotion into what's been all expectation. Don't burn bridges just for the drama. Build the one you actually want to cross. After fire comes the filter. On Tuesday, the moon enters Virgo and begins to grow, and with it grows the need to organize everything that was stirred up. There's no use in feeling everything if you don't know what to do with it now. This is the day to turn impulse into process, passion into planning, courage into clarity. Virgo doesn't care about pretty speeches. It wants routines that work, a schedule that respects your pace, a body you can actually sustain. Time to review what you eat, how you sleep, what kind of thoughts you're feeding without even realizing. This moon helps you see where your life is still a mess and gives you practical tools to clean, redefine, and prioritize. Use Tuesday to write out plans, eliminate distractions, and make choices that match the cycle you truly want to live. You don't need to handle everything, but you do need to choose what you'll let grow and what you'll let go, because clarity without action turns into bottled-up frustration, and this week has no more room for that. Thursday opens a quick and sharp portal. Mercury forms a sextile with Mars, and suddenly the mind clicks, the body responds, and what you've been rehearsing in your head can now be said, with courage, with precision, with impact. This transit is brief but powerful. There's no time for fluff, no room for hesitation. If you've got something important to say, this is your moment. If you need to pitch an idea, make a decision, or close a chapter with words, do it now. You'll notice what seemed complicated becomes direct. What felt tangled starts to organize in midair. But be careful. The mind is sharp, yes, but also impatient. Don't turn truth into a weapon. Don't use honesty as a cover for emotional outbursts. The best words this Thursday won't wound. They'll resolve, write, speak, sign, but do it with clear intention and emotional integrity. This sky favors those ready to move forward, not those still stuck rehearsing inner monologues without real-world action. On Friday, the tone shifts completely. The body speaks louder, the mind slows down, and the heart craves roots. Venus enters Taurus, her natural home, bringing a clear message. If it's not real, it unravels. If it's not stable, it doesn't serve. If it doesn't truly touch you, it loses meaning. Here, love stops being an idea and becomes presence. Aesthetic needs essence, relationships need grounding, money needs mindfulness. It's the beginning of a phase where everything of value demands upkeep, demands consistency, demands embodiment. Any sparkle that's hollow, any inflated romance, any promise with no follow-through will start to fade. This transit isn't fast, but it's deep. Look at what you love and ask if you've been tending to it with presence. Is it a love of skin, of touch, of everyday reality, and more? Look at your pleasure. Have you been savoring your life or just chasing the next distraction? Venus in Taurus invites you to plant bonds, not just wishes. Between Friday and Saturday, there's a space almost no one notices. It's when the body whispers before the mind decides. It's the moment you feel, but don't yet know what to do. It's not action, nor stillness. It's digestion. After Venus asks for presence, and before Mercury asks for dialogue, you need to listen to a different kind of signal your own bodies. You might feel a heaviness, an excitement, a fatigue that isn't physical, or a strange hunger for something you can't quite name. Pay attention to that. This transition between two transits is a neutral zone, but it's where the most mature choices are made. You don't need to act just yet, but you do need to notice what's arising within. This interval is like the second between lightning and thunder. It's where the body already knows, but the mind is still catching up. Stay in that second, because it's where the truth starts to form. Saturday closes the week with a different kind of silence. Mercury leaves Gemini and enters Cancer. And now, speech doesn't just come from the head, it rises from the chest. The mind slows down. Words become less logical, more emotional, and the world begins to be felt through invisible layers. Tone, hesitation, subtext. You'll start picking up on what people don't say. You'll notice emotions hiding in neutral statements. You'll recall stories you thought were healed, but still need tending. This transit marks the beginning of a new kind of listening, intuitive listening. The kind that feels before it understands, that reads between the lines, that responds with a pause, not a rebuttal. If you know how to work with this energy, you can heal old misunderstandings. You can write from a more honest place. You can talk to those who matter without the masks. But if you resist the sensitivity, you might shut down or get swept up in someone else's emotional storm. Mercury in Cancer asks for empathy with boundaries. It's not about drowning in others' emotions. It's about honoring your own with maturity. The week ends with listening, and listening is the soil where your next decision will take root. Every move this week, from Leo's emotional fire to Cancer's tender listening, has a purpose you might still be digesting, to remind you that your choices are already taking root. You may change your mind later on, but what begins now will form structure. It will grow. It will demand presence. Because the sky isn't dropping hints anymore, it's building. And it's building with what you say, what you allow, what you accept, what you decide. This week is like a freshly cleared, fertile field. You don't see anything sprouting yet, but everything you plant will germinate when you least expect. The doubt you ignore today becomes a detour tomorrow. The relationship you feed out of loneliness will feel heavy later. The choice made in truth will return peace in time. So plant with awareness. Don't repeat cycles just because they're familiar. Don't make promises you can't keep. Don't sabotage yourself saying, "It's not time yet." If you don't do it now, you'll likely do it later, by impulse. And then you lose the right to choose how the next cycle unfolds. This is the moment. Between rushing and stalling, choose presence. Before we end, close your eyes for a second. Imagine a field of fertile soil, quiet, just cleared. Nothing's growing yet, but the air already smells like harvest. You hold a small seed in your hands. But it's not just an idea, it's a decision. Name it in silence now. It could be a word, a name, a gesture you need to make. Plant it in that field with intention, with presence, with truth. Now open your eyes and remember that choice will grow. It doesn't matter if others see it. What matters is that you nurture it. Did you notice the design? This isn't a week of major plot twists. It's a week of confirmation, of alignment, of intentional planting. Every cosmic message over the past few weeks, through moons, mental breakdowns, strange impulses and long silences, was preparation. Now it's time to apply with presence, with groundedness, with emotional courage, and with strategic patience. You don't need to change everything, but you do need to act based on what you already know. This week is a straight path. Fire on Sunday to get you moving. Structure on Tuesday to get you organized. Voice on Thursday to assert yourself. Body on Friday to ground you. Heart on Saturday to remind you why it all matters. It's simple, but not light, because what's being asked now is maturity. No more idealizations, but real decisions that make sense in the real world, with the resources you have, in the time you're living, with the life that's yours. There's no point waiting for more signs. They've already come. You just need to show you've heard them. Before you leave this video, let these questions echo. What are you still holding on to out of fear? What do you say you want, but don't act like you do? What cycle are you repeating just because you know the path? And what would you plant today if you knew for sure it would bloom? These aren't questions to answer right now. They're meant to echo as you move through the week ahead. Because you don't need to get everything right, but you do need to be present enough to notice when the answer arrives. And when it comes, plant it. Don't hesitate, don't wait, don't outsource it. Comment 664 if one of these questions already hit something inside you. And follow this channel, because here, the sky isn't a forecast, it's a compass. Because the sky isn't far, it's within, and it's asking for a response.